Hey everybody from YouTube, welcome to my new YouTube channel, Real World Enterprise Selling. I set up this channel after 25 plus years of selling in the enterprise space, and I wanted to give back to the community in terms of all my experiences that I've had over these 25 plus years of selling in the enterprise space. Just in terms of experience, I started out with a degree in finance, and then I moved into contract management. And then I moved into sales. And when I first moved into sales, I had a natural talent for it, but I really never understood my craft. I didn't understand why I won. I didn't understand why I lost. And that's kind of where I started. But over the years, I've learned my craft and learned my craft really well. I've had a lot of successes, but I've also had a lot of failures too. And I've learned so much over the years, and I wanted to share that with you all as we go forward in these different YouTube episodes. So welcome to the channel, and what I would say is if you're thinking about getting into enterprise sales, or if you're new to enterprise sales, or maybe in the middle of your career, or even a senior level person, I think you can get a lot out of this channel. I'm going to encourage the audience to kind of entertain conversations online on different subject areas, and I'll be talking about time management. I'm going to talk about pipeline management. I'm going to talk about prospecting strategies. I'm going to talk about objection handling. I'm going to talk about the role of AI in today's modern selling environment, which is really important. Talk about how to deal with management, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All those different subjects. And I would the one thing I would say about enterprise selling is that this channel is not going to be gimmicky, okay? It's not going to be, I'm some motivational speaker who's going to throw things out just to get people excited. It's not going to be that. It's going to be basically boots on the ground, real world experience, where I'm going to share a lot of stories and a lot of things I learned over the many years. One thing I am going to cover, probably in a series of episodes, is all the different sales methodologies out there. Right, there's sales process, right, which is what you have in your CRM system, where you track the different stages of where a sale is. But then there's sales methodology, which is methodologies on how you actually sell. Right, there's a bunch of them out there. I've gone through a ton of them, and I'm going to do reviews on each one of those, right, and talk about the importance of taking bits and pieces of those and leveraging those as skills that you can use going forward. So I'm going to be covering things like that. The first subject I wanted to cover today is a very simple one, but I think a really important one in today's selling environment, which is time management. And I look back, when folks who sold in the 80s or 90s or even early 2000s, time management wasn't that much of a big deal, right? Because I remember when email first came out and everybody prided themselves on, I was able to clear my email box out. Well, forget about doing that today. I mean, if you think about today's selling environment, you have so much coming at you, right? You got customer, let's say billing questions, you've got customer support questions, you have management coming to you asking you questions about forecasting, you've got training, you've got all this administrative noise coming at you in the selling environment. You've got peers asking you questions, a lot of distractions, right? And time management is something that you really need to pay attention to, because actually time is one of your enemies in the enterprise selling space. It's your competition is your enemy, the economy is your enemy, but a big enemy with a lot of sellers is time, right? There just isn't enough time to do everything that you want to do, so you got to take advantage of the time that you have. So being very efficient with how you use your time is super important. And the way I've looked at this is, like enterprise sellers, every single enterprise seller I know, when they come out of a meeting, right, your manager asks you, hey, how was the meeting? And everybody says the same thing. It's like, oh, it was great. It was great. Nobody ever says, hey, how was your meeting? Well, it sucks. Nobody ever says that, right? The same thing with how did your week go, right? So if anybody asks you, whether your spouse or whether your manager asks you how did your week go, most enterprise sellers, given the fact that we are, super positive people, we say, oh, it was great. Yeah, I got a lot done. Yeah, I met with this person. It was really good. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. That's, to me, that's sort of cosmetic and superficial, right? The way I measure the value of a week is three basic things. Okay, just three basic things. Okay, in terms of how well did the week go. And these are the three things, and these things really, at the end of the day, these are the only things that matter. So the first thing is, how many deals or opportunities did I discover? New opportunities did I discover? Right, so that's about, part of your rhythm needs to be going out on a continual basis, on a weekly basis, and prospecting, right? Putting more deals in the funnel. As you qualify deals out, as deals leave the funnel, you need to be bringing more opportunities into that funnel. Okay, so how many net new opportunities did I find for that given week? Okay, that's one measurement. Second measurement is how many deals did I actually advance through the sales cycle? Right, so you think about your sales cycle. Everybody's got a defined sales cycle that's usually baked into their CRM system, and it's how the managers track, how healthy the business is, right? But how many deals did you actually advance forward in that sales cycle? That's the second metric. And then the third metric is simply, how many deals did I close? Right? So you got how many deals did you find? How many deals did you advance in the sales cycle? How many deals did you close? And that's the way to, in my opinion, to judge how well your week went. Right now, if you look back on your week and you really didn't find many deals, you didn't move any deals forward, and you didn't close many deals, but you felt busy, you really have to question about where you're spending your time. Right? And a lot of organizations, you can fall into that trap, especially if you're new to selling, right? Like I said, there's so many distractions. When I was at Microsoft, we called it the email vortex of hell, right? Where you sit there and you're trying to get to every email, and every single question is on the email, and you could literally spend all day long swimming around an email and accomplish absolutely nothing. So I think it's really important for sellers today, especially enterprise sellers today, to make sure they become very disciplined about, first of all, what is the priority of what they do and where are they spending their time. So anyways, that's just a short piece of my experience. I hope that was helpful. And certainly, comment on this video if you want to discuss that even further. But anyways, this is a short intro video. Like I said, welcome to the channel. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you subscribing, and we'll talk to you soon.